Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Bring It On. Let's go smite some demons. Also, I don't remember if I showed it off last episode or not, but you can see where I had changed my units around, so now that my melee units actually start in front of my range units. Well, there we go. I think that's the right play. Didn't realize that was my cleric unit again. It's okay. Circle him back around like that. Alright, great victory. The traitors who defected to the enemy's side at Canabras are dead. Nerosian expresses its deepest gratitude to the commander. Oh, also, I found out why we now have 45 move points. The decision I made with the quartermaster gave us this bonus here. Prepared scouts. Army has plus 5 additional movement points. Which is nice to have. These guys are very tanky. But they also don't hit very hard, so it's just a time thing. We will inevitably win. Yeah, screw it. That's they don't waste my time like that. After pacifying the elementals, the soldiers found the remains of a cultist sorcerer in the middle of a broken summoning circle. Despite his apparently outstanding magical power, he was unable to control the raging spirits he had brought into existence. His stiff fingers were still clenching the horrendous flail he used as a weapon. Tyranny of Mind. This +2 heavy flail can be safely wielded by only non-good characters. Each time the wielder of this weapon lands a hit with it, the enemy has to pass a will saving throw and become affected with the equivalent of the Dominate Person spell effect for 1 round. If a good character wields this weapon, they become permanently confused, even after they unequip it. This effect can only be removed by a remove curse spell. I can talk and read. Why can't I go this way? Well, alright, let's head to Reliable Redoubt with our party. Provide assistance to the Hellknights. A military outpost built along the walls of the canyons that riddle the world wound. The army who erected it clearly believed that the place offered some safety.
I am prepared.
I will help where I can.
I know what to do.
Well?
I will lend you my aid. Are we in trouble yet?
You are my favorite aid. I heed the voice of the spirits.
Alright, we should be all set.
I'll go ahead.
Looks like the Hellknights continued to fight the gargoyle even from the air. They both fell to the rocks and perished. Commander, come here, quickly. And from the mountains, you see a raided camp and two groups of warriors. One wearing white and yellow armor, the other in black. They're led by a tall man in white priest robes. Some of the warriors glance around fretfully, the weapons shaking in their hands. You hear the screams of gargoyles from above. The beasts are approaching the camp.
Quickly, evacuate the wounded. The beasts are about to strike again. Use cloaks as stretchers. We've got to make it through. Paralictor, your people will have to cover us while...
2 more minutes left out in the open, and neither you nor I will have any troops left to order about, Crusader.
But the wounded...
Retreat to shelter.
The one called Paralictor makes a barely noticeable gesture, and the swords of his troops execute the wounded. The man in white has anything further to add. His words are drowned out by the shrieks of gargoyles as they fall from the sky. Paralictor will lead the unit to shelter. We need to get through to them. I think that could be done. Oh.
Yet another obstacle. Begone, fiend!
I'll cut you wide open.
To dazzle these guys first, and then we'll use Dazzle Display after that.
The spirits demand your blood.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Yeah, let's go ahead and cast Haste.
You are today's sacrifice.
You won't survive me. Endure this! Fall!
Alright, that went much better than I was expecting it to.
I know the way.
Do not fear.
I will bring
Do
down
not
the
waver.
divine wrath! Make every strike count.
Let's try this way.
Alright, another really easy
Follow my
fight.
lead.
I feel like they were harder on normal. Also wasn't buffed up as much. Bastard Sword of Hope. Whenever the wielder of this +2 Mithril Bastard Sword confirms a critical hit with it, it restores 1 to 8 plus 5 HP to the wielder. It can be wielded only by lawful good, lawful neutral, or neutral good characters. That's pretty good. The sight before you is at once macabre and picturesque. A lifeless couple, a man and a woman dressed in white and yellow priest robes, lie on the ground surrounded by the bodies of dead gargoyles. They are tangled in death. The claws of the monsters are tearing at the human's clothes. The largest gargoyle's talons has pierced the man's chest and punctured his heart. But before they died, he or his companion defeated the enemy. Suddenly, the woman opens her eyes. She doesn't look at you, or stares up at the world wound's horrific red and black sky. Her pale lips open, and she exhales abruptly. The sun will never rise again. Even the sky here is cursed, and we along with it. Jaeger, walking in the front, steps over the man's body without looking, but turns around at the sound of the woman's voice. The Mendevian faith will break too easily. Yeah, heal the woman. You need help. You'll feel better now. The woman pushes you away with a weak gesture. Expend your efforts on someone who can be helped. Leave me. My crusade is over. Who are you? What happened here? I'm a priestess of Ardent Serenray, from the Order of the Sunrise Sword. Next to me is Ashes Strieger, head of our order. Sorrowful pride sounds in the woman's voice. He's led our forces and raids into the World Wound many times, but this campaign, the gargoyles attacked a few nights ago. A vast number. We've never seen anything like it. Ashes organized our resistance with great skill, but while the monsters were distracting our fighters, a small group of them raided the camp and took our supplies. We were left without food and water in the middle of the World Wound, where it's nearly impossible to find provisions. We shared the last crumbs of our supplies and set off back the way we came. Everyone was suffering from hunger and thirst. We grew weak and could barely fight back when the gargoyles struck a second time. They snatched many of us away. I saw the pain on Ashes' face as he counted the losses, but he managed to rally us. We continued our trek and soon came across traces of recent battle. Someone had destroyed a troop of demon worshippers. In our desperation, we decided to follow the strangers, warn them of the gargoyles, and seek their help, having no idea they were Hellknights. We received only scorn. Every gulp of water in my unit is accounted for, they said. They spared us 2 flasks and a sack of dried bread. They said we were allowed to keep the sack to use as bandages. 2 flasks between all of us. A sack for bandages. Hellknights. Tila curls her fists, almost grunting through her clenched teeth. I'd rather ally with the flesh-eating poisonous wyvern. The leader has to take care of his own tribe first. While the scandalized gasps, how could he do such a thing? Suddenly fall away when you're first faced with a hard choice. Are you going to take food out of your own child's mouth to feed a starving stranger? What happened after that? The gargoyles attacked. Despite how the Hellknight prayer lictors had treated us, Ashes endeavored to help them, and had us carry their wounded. That monster had them slaughtered. Ashes was beside himself. It's difficult to conceive of such evil. He told our people to go with the Hellknights to find shelter, but he stayed to cover our retreat. Woman exhaled softly. He was a strong cleric, but as he treated our wounded, he neglected himself. He paid for it. What terrible injustice, but alas, all too common. Those who care for others often perish first. It's quite a story. I can just picture it on the stage of a grand royal theater. Rustling silk, gold adornments, a tragic lead singing the final aria. Is it time for me to applaud yet? It's not often that you come across such heart-wrenching and theatrical plots outside the stage. Commander can't be helped, but you're still alive. Allow me to help you, and come with us. The woman looks at you wistfully. Why? So many deaths, so many sacrifices, such bravery, all for what? No, I will not go with you, stranger. My commander and I will die by what we live for, compassion and nobility. I don't want to keep fighting for a world that bows to such laws. May the goddess forgive me. Farewell. The woman closes her eyes, exhausted. was hoping I could use my Gorm line after that. Oh well. Yaker shakes his head. Commander, I'm not one to advise you. You're wasting time on this fool. The gargoyles will soon be back. That's their usual tactics. Fly up, regroup, attack again. I'm going back to my unit now. I advise you not to stay here long either.
Eternal
They will
Rose, I
break
call
against
upon
our
you.
resolve.
We do have slow. Let's go ahead and pop one of those.
Go for their hearts!
You crossed the wrong mongrel.
And we'll drop a haste here as well.
You won't survive me.
I'll cut you wide open!
Oh, there's a whole other group of them. Oh, landed right in the middle of my party.
Mind
That's
over
not good.
muscle.
Hang in there, guys. Blind to this guy if you can.
The spirits demand your blood!
This will hurt.
Your cadaver.
Alright, cool.
My will is resolute.
Once again, went much better than I was expecting it to. Even after the attack, the tents of the Hellknight camper line up neatly, looking like they're ready for a parade.
As it should be. No
A
mistakes.
bright future awaits us. Lead on. This was simple enough.
Muscle warmer. More medium barding. This +2 hide barding grants its wearer cold resistance 10 and a +2 competence bonus on saving throws against movement impairing effects. Better than the other medium armor we found. But I still don't know if it's better than our current light armor.
Together we stand.
The movement speed is really nice.
It went splendidly.
Demonic energy has polluted the earth, creating tumors filled with poison. Alright, where do I need to go? There's something back here.
Not far. Go ahead.
Alright, but so far so good. Gargoyle's a bunch of chumps.
Are we ready to move out?
I know the way.
Alright, into the cave.
Knight Commander, I presume. Your glory precedes you. I am Regill Derenge, Paralictor of the Order of the God Claw, and temporary officer of the joint unit of Hellknights and the Order of the Sunrise Sword. You and your people should take positions. The gargoyles are regrouping. We expect they will attempt to break through in 5 to 6 minutes.
The moment you step across the threshold, you're targeted with pale yellow eyes. A man with considerable gray in his hair, dressed in black armor, lowers his head slightly. You know what? Yeah, let's do this. We need to get rid of the gargoyles, then we'll talk.
Agreed. Be ready, Commander. This attack may be worse than the last one.
Our victory is certain. A calculated risk.
I don't really want him on the front line. Let's do this. Go to haste up. What else do we have?
I can still fight. Begone, fiend! Did you see that?
The light take you!
I'll remove this obstacle.
Your performance is lacking. You are lacking.
Slow them down. Seal it. Get over here first thing. Please and
To
thank you.
the fray. The Inheritor, guide my blade.
You are today's sacrifice. You should have listened to
Alright,
reason.
so far so good.
This should do it.
Minus 4 levels to my main character. Oh boy. Alright, hang in there, guys.
I need your assistance.
Mind over muscle.
Alright. Playing house nicely here.
You're irrelevant.
Missed all of our attacks. Great.
Fall!
The light take you!
Alright, we did it. Alright, enjoy your improved wisdom. As for this helmet, I guess you can have that back.
The mongrel did it.
We're still alive. Praise be Serenray. Or praise the sun. Skeleton of a man wearing armor from the time of the First Crusade. It's holding the skeleton of a child with strange proportions, and animal paws instead of its right arm and leg.
Ready for anything.
We got a Ring of Protection +2. Great for her. Does anyone need a Ring of Protection? She does. Perfect. Regill gracefully stows his weapon and places his hands behind his back. You two, check the area. Mark any potential shelters that offer protection against aerial attacks. Quartermaster, inventory the remnants of the camp. I want to make sure that the gargoyles only abducted people who weren't interested in anything else. Send messengers immediately to our scout squads in order for them to return to camp. I need a full list of casualties. The sooner the better. He turns to you and nods slightly. Commander, your arrival was well timed. Now we can finally talk. I'm quite interested in the events that occurred at the Great Garrison, and I suppose you have questions for me as well. What do you want to know about what happened at the Great Garrison? Any shift in the balance of power during this war has a direct impact on my mission. If a new player appears who is capable of fighting demons effectively, then I'm ready to support that person with all the resources I have at my disposal. Regill speaks pensively, as if talking to himself. But naturally, I cannot blindly trust a stranger, even when marked by the gods. Yeah, you have every right to doubt. I usually don't trust strangers either. So we understand each other. Thank you, Commander. Regill nods, more to himself than to you. Is there anything you'd like to know before we move on to more serious issues? What if I want to join the ranks of the Hellknights? The requirements for knights and signifiers are common knowledge. They must certainly be satisfied. If you do that, the orders will consider your request. Any further discussion prior to your completion of the necessary tasks is pointless. And every fighter or spellcaster is fit to serve with us. What are Hellknights doing here, within the borders of the Worldwound? The same as you and your army, fighting a war against the demons. The Hellknights have always been a part of the Crusades from the very beginning. We don't answer to Queen Galfrey, we act on our own authority. We serve the common cause. A Discari spawn have no place in the world we want to build. Regill barks out the final words. What does Paralictor mean? I'm the commander of this unit, and in the Order's hierarchy, I am 2 steps lower than its leader. In the territory of Mendev and the Worldwound, there are a few who equal my rank. I'm the most senior Hell Knight officer for many leagues around. What are you going to do now, after the gargoyle attack? I'll wait for my remaining fighters to return. What you see here is only a small part of my forces. As for my long-term plans, that depends on the results of our conversation, Commander. Regill narrows his eyes. Before we move on to serious subjects, I'd like to address an organizational issue regarding my unit. You may wish to be present. Yaker steps forward and salutes with a clenched fist to his chest. Paralictor, commissioned to report. During the first gargoyle attack, I determined it necessary to leave my post. I swam over the river, found the commander's army, and asked them to provide assistance. Regill nods. The reinforcements were much needed. You earn a double salary for your resourcefulness, Yaker, and 100 lashes for abandoning your post. The young knight grows a little pale, but immediately salutes again. Yes, Paralictor. I forget he abandoned his armor. I wonder if it's foolish and overly harsh to punish Yaker for leaving his post, when he did it to bring help. It would be foolish and harsh, but entirely lawful, to execute him for desertion. Regill peers at Yaker with his pale yellow eyes. Did you know the location of the commander's squad knight? No, Paralictor. I assumed I might meet friendly troops on the other side of the river, but I couldn't know for sure. You see, Commander? Of course, I could be gracious and look the other way, but that would mean that during the next battle, 10 or 20 of my people will think it's high time they ran to get help. Initiative requires reasonable limits. Not to mention, 100 lashes is hardly a punishment for a true Hell Knight. I'd say it's more a spiritual warm-up. Reminds me of my time in the military, when it's constantly preached to take initiative. Take initiative, take initiative. Whenever you do, every single time without fail, someone always says, good initiative, bad judgment. And your initiative is never rewarded. In fact, it's almost always punished. Just like good old Yaker here. Yaker gives you a serious look. Thank you for your concern, Commander. I do not wish to evade fair punishment. I would be a Hell Knight if I did. Honestly, I shouldn't have said anything there anyway. This isn't my chain of command. They don't even answer to Queen Galfrey, so me being Knight Commander doesn't give me any authority over this unit. So it's not my place to critique how they run things. Are these guys made of stone or what? They seem creepy, but I kind of like them. Some people have a penchant for whips. I never thought you'd be one of them. Hasn't nature punished you enough? I'll never understand this pointless cruelty, and I never want to. Regill, who's watched you closely throughout the entire conversation, nods to himself. Now for a more delicate issue. You, Commander, were interested in our dispute with the Knights of the Order of the Sunrise Sword, correct? Their forces in Canabra suffered great losses in the demon attack. Now their leader has perished. His troops are in trouble. They are reeling with no command structure. Their order will hardly be able to recover from the losses they suffered. And what are you getting at? These fighters aren't the finest material I've worked with. If I assume formal command over them, I'll be able to reforge them into weapons of reasonable quality. One or two might even become true Hellknights. The rest will be put to good use as well. Now, what does this have to do with me? The spark flashes Regill's pale yellow eyes. I suppose, Commander, that for leagues around, from Canabras to Dresden, and from Dresden to the cursed city of Iz, at the heart of the world wound, all of this pertains to you in one way or another. You are the catalyst that shifted an age-old balance of power, whether you meant to or not. Your own future, and much more, depends on the decisions you make here and now, even the ones that seem insignificant. Do you really think these people will follow you, after how you've treated them? They're not the best. They are still warriors and knights. They know what discipline is, and that victory in war doesn't come without cost. Any among them who still haven't realized that aren't worth my time and effort. I will support you and recommend that the Knights of the Sunrise Sword fall in under your command. I'll expect your support in return, Paralictor. I'll gladly give my support to one who can effectively fight the demons. Now let's turn to our orphans. Regill looks at the warriors in white and yellow, shifting cheerlessly from one foot to the other. Initiates of the Sunrise Sword, your leader is dead. The Order has suffered serious losses, but will not be able to recover. You may return to Mentev to join another Crusader Order, and hope that they don't meet the same fate as the Sunrise Sword. Or, you may remain under my command. I will not promise that it will be easy, or that our war-making will be constricted by your principles. What I can promise is this: under my command, you will never again feel like helpless mice in the talons of a ravenous raptor. Melia scoffs. He's used to people following his orders. Then again, these sniveling cowards are used to humiliating treatment. They won't even consider testing him a little. What would you do in their position? Challenge a gnome in black to a duel and make him prove himself worthy of command? I would never end up in their position. Does that mean we've worked off the precious resources you spent on us? The water, medicine, and bandages, yells one of the knights in white and yellow. I wouldn't make such an offer if I thought you were useless garbage. The initiates of the Sunrise Sword consult with each other for a time. Then one of them, a young woman in knight's armor, steps forward. Thank you for your trust, Paralictor. We will stay, and are ready to obey your orders. Fine. In due course, I'll review your troops, and make any necessary decisions regarding your role in my unit. Regill turns to you. Now, Commander, for the most important issue. Cooperation between our forces. We do have a common enemy, and a common battlefield. You're looking at me strangely, Paralictor. When we discussed Yeager's punishment, we were deciding the fate of the Sunrise Sword. It's as if you're testing me. Regill lowers his head in a gesture that might be read as respectful. I do not believe I made any attempt to conceal my interest in you, both as a new, strong leader in the region, and as the bearer of a highly unusual power. Of course, I like to know what's inside your head. One could say that it's my duty. My army and I are going to Dresden to free the city from demons. You can join forces with us. Regill rubs his chin pensively. Dresden, an ambitious goal, but most reasonable. Imagine how much a victory would rally all the separate bands of today's Crusaders under one banner. And we certainly need a base of operations inside the World Wound. I stand ready to support you. Moreover, I can accompany you in your campaign. However, I remind you that Hellknights are outside Mendev's jurisdiction. My unit and I will join your forces and obey your orders, but only for as long as I deem that our goals coincide. Hell no, we don't need the likes of these black-armored statues. I don't want to fight side by side with someone who will slit my throat if I am weak and wounded. You can't defeat one evil by inviting an equal but slightly more organized evil into your ranks. Slightly more organized than the demons. I could consider that an insult. I've never dealt with Hellknights before, but from what we've seen, they're serious fighters. That's just what we need, and just think how that armor will look in the paintings they'll make about our battles. It's a deal. Yes, Commander. My forces and Regill Derenge are at your disposal. We will add him to the party. He will be replacing Camellia. but not until I can equip him.
Follow my lead.
In fact, we'll probably head straight back to camp now. Or I'll do it off camera. And, I'll rest up, I'll sell all the stuff we picked up there, and next episode we'll level up Regill, have him join our party. And we'll probably go to Chili Creek next. So we got a unit of Hellknights as well. Let's have them meet up with our other army real fast, while I'm thinking about it. Don't really care for the Rangers very much anyway. But we can use them as some sort of half-baked reinforcements for our army. Alright, I'm gonna call it here. Again, off camera, we'll also speak to Regill at the camp in the next one. Yeah, so we need to speak to Regill, level him up. I'll take care of all the mercantiling and stuff off camera. But for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.